Have you noticed it too? These little changes that seem to creep up after 60. Maybe it starts when you stand up from your favorite armchair and you feel like you're pushing off with your arms more than before. Or climbing the stairs feels like lifting weights, your thighs burning, your breath shortening. And sometimes you catch yourself losing balance for no reason. Just walking across the living room, and there it is, that little wobble that makes your heart skip a beat. Many of my patients have whispered this to me with a mix of frustration and sadness. Doc, I don't feel as steady on my feet anymore. My legs feel heavy, weak. I used to get up and go without thinking. Now, it's like my body isn't listening. Does any of that sound familiar to you? You see, what you're feeling isn't just aging. It's not your imagination either. It's something we in the medical field call sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that happens as we get older. The truth is, starting in your 50s, your body naturally loses 1 to 3% of muscle mass every year. That means by the time you're 60, you could have lost up to 15 to the muscle strength in your legs without even realizing it. And because your legs carry the weight of your entire body, they're often the first to show the signs. But why does this happen? There are three main reasons. First, as we age, our digestive system absorbs nutrients less efficiently. Essential vitamins and minerals, like vitamin D, B12, and magnesium, don't make it into our bloodstream as they used to. Without them, our muscles don't get the fuel they need to stay strong. Second, blood flow slows down. With poorer circulation, less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach your leg muscles. The result? Tired, heavy legs, and even cramps. And third, many of us become less physically active as we age. Maybe it's because of joint pain or fear of falling. But here's the catch. When you use your muscles less, they shrink faster. It's a vicious cycle. I remember one of my patients, Margaret, she's 68, a retired librarian with a love for gardening. She came into my office one morning, her voice barely above a whisper. "Doctor, I don't know what's happening to me. Just a few years ago, I used to run up and down the stairs, tend to my flowers, and play with my grandkids. Now, I climb 5 steps and I'm out of breath. My legs feel like lead." I could see the fear in her eyes. She was afraid of losing her independence. After running some tests, we discovered Margaret was experiencing early sarcopenia. But here's the beautiful part. With the right nutritional support and a few simple lifestyle changes, she came back to me 6 weeks later beaming. "Doctor," she said, "I can climb the stairs again. Slowly, but I don't need to pull on the railing anymore. I feel stronger, more like myself." Now I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, have I noticed my legs feeling heavier lately? Do I find it harder to rise from a chair or climb stairs? Have I stopped certain activities, like walking around the block or gardening, because my legs feel too tired? If you answered yes to any of those, it might be your body's way of asking for help. The good news? You can give it that help. Science tells us that muscle loss isn't inevitable. It's not a one-way road. With the right support, specific nutrients, better circulation, and gentle movement, you can rebuild strength and confidence in your legs. This isn't about becoming an athlete. It's about restoring the freedom to move through your day without fear, to walk to your mailbox, to play with your grandkids, to climb those stairs without gripping the handrail. Your legs have carried you through decades of life's journeys. They deserve care, nourishment, and a chance to stay strong, because when your legs are steady, your independence stays steady too. So in this video, let's talk about how you can strengthen your legs after 60 without intense workouts or expensive treatments, just by giving your body what it truly needs. Because strong legs don't just help you stand, they help you keep standing tall in life. Have you ever noticed lately when you're climbing just a few steps, your legs suddenly feel so heavy? Or maybe it's something as simple as walking across your living room, yet it feels like you're dragging 2 blocks of lead. I'm asking because so many of my patients, people just like you and me, have come to me with that same weary tone in their voice saying, "Doc, I'm not who I used to be anymore. I used to enjoy my morning walks, tending to my little garden, but now every single step feels like a small battle." If you've ever felt that way too, let me share something important with you. A little secret that most people don't realize. Sometimes it's not just about getting older. It's about a missing nutrient called vitamin B1 or thiamine. I remember not too long ago, one of my patients, Margaret, 68 years old, walked into my office looking utterly exhausted. She told me her legs were constantly tired, and it felt like they just wouldn't listen whenever she tried to stand up. She said, "Some days I get up off the sofa and my legs start trembling. I used to think, well, I guess this is just part of aging." But after we ran some tests, we discovered Margaret had a severe thiamine deficiency. A few weeks into her supplements, she came back with the biggest smile on her face. She said, "Doc, you won't believe it. I walked all around the park near my house yesterday. That heavy feeling in my legs, gone. I feel at least 10 years younger." Do you see a little of yourself in Margaret's story? Here's the thing. Vitamin B1 isn't some flashy, trendy vitamin you hear about all the time, but it's absolutely crucial. It's the key that helps your body turn food into energy. Think of it like gasoline for your car. Every time you take a step, stand up from a chair, or even take a deep breath, your body needs a power source called ATP. And thiamine, it's the guide that helps your body make that ATP. When you don't have enough thiamine, your muscles simply don't get the fuel they need. And the result? Your legs feel heavy as stone. Walking just a short distance leaves you completely wiped out. And sometimes even your mind feels just as drained. Have you ever had those days where all you wanted to do was lie on the sofa because your body just had no energy left? That, my friend, might be your muscles crying out for help, silently begging for something they're missing. Thiamine. Studies from Tokyo University show that over 30% of people over 60 are deficient in vitamin B1 without even knowing it. And it's even more common if you eat a limited diet, not enough whole grains, beans, seeds. Take diuretics long-term, often for heart disease or high blood pressure. Or enjoy a glass of wine every evening. Even that small habit can play a role. So when your body whispers, "I'm so tired," it might really be saying, "I need more thiamine." You can start as soon as tomorrow morning, a bowl of warm oatmeal, sprinkle on a handful of sunflower seeds, and if needed, take a thiamine supplement, just 50 to 100 ml as advised by your doctor. I always tell my patients, take your thiamine in the morning. It's like fueling up your tank for a whole day of energy and movement. Now ask yourself, do you find it harder to get up from a chair these days? Do your legs tire easily when you're shopping or taking a walk? Or are there days where walking a few hundred meters feels like climbing a mountain? If the answer is yes, maybe it's time for you and your doctor to have a little chat about vitamin B1. I often remind my patients, your legs are silent companions, walking beside you through all of life's journeys. Don't wait until they ache or grow weary to give them your attention. Nourish them. Give them the energy they need to keep carrying you to the places you love. You don't need a huge life overhaul. Sometimes just one small thiamine tablet each morning can be the first step into a brand new chapter, where you walk with strength, lightness, and confidence again. Remember this, strength doesn't just come from muscles. It also comes from how you care for yourself every single day. So tomorrow morning, as you rise from your bed, ask yourself, are my legs ready for a day full of energy and movement? If the answer is no, then maybe it's time to start today, with a little more care, a little thiamine, and a whole lot of love for yourself. Now let me ask you something. Do you remember the last time you strolled along the beach, feeling those tiny waves tickle your feet? Or the last time you climbed a few steps without having to grab the handrail? How long has it been? I'm not asking to make you feel sad. I'm asking to remind you, your body can regain that strength and stability if you give it the right support. Today, I want to talk about a vitamin I like to call the power switch for your muscles, vitamin D3. A few months ago, one of my patients, George, 72, walked into my clinic leaning heavily on his cane. He said to me with a sigh, "Doc, I just don't feel confident walking anymore. My legs feel so weak, like someone drained all the energy out of them." When we ran his tests, we found George was severely deficient in vitamin D3. And honestly, that wasn't surprising. At his age, the skin is thinner, he spends less time in the sun, and his liver and kidneys aren't as efficient at converting sunlight into usable D3. All of these make it harder for the body to produce enough of this essential vitamin. But here's the good news. After 6 weeks of consistent D3 supplementation, George came back to see me, this time without his cane. He walked into the room with a big smile and said, "Doc, you won't believe it. Yesterday I climbed all 10 steps in my house without anyone's help. It felt like someone flipped my power switch back on." Have you ever felt like George? Heavy legs, struggling with balance, and maybe even telling yourself, it's just old age? But what if the truth is something else? Vitamin D3 isn't just about keeping your bones strong. It's like a conductor leading a grand orchestra. Your muscles, your nerves, and your joints all working in harmony. It helps your muscles contract and relax smoothly so your legs don't feel weak or shaky. It improves nerve signaling, giving you steadier steps and reducing the risk of falls. And most importantly, it helps prevent silent muscle wasting, something many people don't even realize is happening until it's too late. Did you know? A study from the University of Birmingham found this. Seniors over 65 who took 800 IU of vitamin D3 daily saw a 19% increase in leg strength in just 5 days. Just 5 days. Doesn't that give you hope? Now picture this. Your body is like a solar panel. When you were younger, even a little sunlight was enough to charge you fully. But after 60, that panel gets dusty. Your skin is thinner. Your liver and kidneys aren't as efficient. Sunlight still shines, but you absorb less and less energy. On top of that, modern life keeps us indoors more. We use sunscreen religiously, and we don't eat enough foods rich in D3. The result? Weakening legs, more brittle pies, and a higher risk of falls. So where do you start? You can add D3-rich foods to your meals. Salmon, eggs, fortified milk. But honestly, to get 1,000, 2,000 IU per day from food alone, you'd have to eat salmon almost every single day. That's why I often tell my patients, take a small D3 supplement each morning. It's like flipping the sunshine switch inside your body. Recommended dose, healthy adults, 800, 1,000 IU day. Those with a history of falls or weak bones, 1,500 to 2,000 IU day. Best time to take it, in the morning after a meal with healthy fats, like olive oil, avocado, or eggs. One tip, avoid taking D3 right before bed. It can sometimes make it harder to fall asleep. Now ask yourself, have you been tripping or losing your balance more often lately? Do you get leg cramps at night? Do your legs feel heavy, like you're carrying around 2 weights? If the answer is yes, your body might be craving a little sunshine from within. I often tell my patients, your legs aren't just a way to get from point A to point B. They're your wings, carrying you to your grandchildren, to that park you love, to the vacations you've dreamed about. Don't let a tiny nutrient deficiency make those wings weaker. Nourish them every single day so that one morning you rise, stand tall, and feel steady, like you never lost your strength. You deserve to walk lightly. You deserve to climb stairs without needing a helping hand. And you deserve to enjoy every single moment of life without your legs holding you back. So start today. A little sunlight, a little vitamin D3, and a big belief in the incredible body you still have. Flip that switch. Your legs will thank you. Have you ever felt like your legs just wouldn't listen? Like your brain says walk, but your body takes a few seconds to catch up? Or maybe there have been moments where you suddenly lose your balance, even on flat ground, and your heart races with fear? I ask because I've heard these words from hundreds of patients over the years. And today I want to talk about vitamin B12, a silent hero that helps reconnect the communication lines between your brain and your muscles. I remember Evelyn, 65 years old, a retired school teacher with bright eyes and a gentle smile. But that day, she walked into my office with a noticeable tremor in her step. She told me, "Doctor, I don't know what's happening. Lately, I've been tripping over nothing, and my legs feel tingly, like ants crawling all over them. Sometimes it's like they've fallen asleep and won't take orders." We ran some tests and discovered Evelyn was severely deficient in vitamin B12. She had no idea that as we age, our stomach's ability to absorb B12 decreases significantly, especially if you're on acid-blocking medications or eat little meat. Just 8 weeks later, after taking methylcobalamin, the active form of B12 that your body can absorb right away, Evelyn came back, gripping my hand tightly. "Doctor," she said, her voice full of relief, "I'm walking again. No more tingling. But more importantly, I'm not afraid to walk anymore." See, sometimes a small change can bring back a huge sense of freedom. Think of your body like an old telephone system, where signals from the main switchboard, your brain, travel down wires, your nerves, to the receiver, your muscles. When you're low on B12, the protective coating around those wires, called myelin, starts to wear away. And suddenly the messages get delayed or disrupted. The result? Tingling, pins and needles, or sharp stabbing sensations in your legs. Sudden weakness, making it hard to stand up or climb stairs. Even losing your balance on perfectly flat ground. A study from Oxford University found this. Seniors over 65 with low B12 levels are twice as likely to fall compared to those with healthy levels. And when given 1,000 mcg of B12 daily for 8 weeks, they saw significant improvements in leg strength and stability. You can find B12 in foods like red meat, salmon, eggs, and milk. But let's be honest. Many people over 60 eat less meat, maybe because of digestion issues or dietary choices. That's why I often tell my patients, take a methylcobalamin B12 supplement, 500 to 1,000 mcg a day. Think of it as a lifeline for your nervous system. When to take it? Around lunchtime after a meal. Avoid taking it with coffee or tea, as they can interfere with absorption. Who needs it most? Anyone over 60. Those on long-term acid-reducing medications, like omeprazole or ranitidine. Vegetarians or people who eat little meat. Let me ask you, do you often feel tingling or numbness in your feet? Do your legs seem slow to respond when your brain tells them to move? Have you ever lost your balance, even on flat ground? If so, listen closely. That could be your nerves crying out for B12. I once told Evelyn, and now I'll tell you, your legs aren't just muscles and bones. They're the lifeline connecting you to the world, to loved ones, to precious memories. Take care of that lifeline. Don't let a tiny nutrient deficiency hold you back. You can regain confidence in every step. You can get back that feeling of these legs are mine. No more tingling, no more delays, no more trembling. Talk to your doctor about vitamin B12. One little pill, one big change, and one day soon you'll step forward without fear. Let your legs once again hear the commands of your heart. Did you know sometimes our muscles aren't tired because they lack energy, but because they're silently under attack day after day? Picture your muscles like a lush green field. Every step you take, every movement, is like a gentle breeze sweeping across that field. But then, invisible oxidative storms roll in, slowly stealing its vitality. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it to help you understand. There's an important gatekeeper that protects your muscles from these storms, vitamin E. I still remember Helen so vividly. She was 70 then, a retired teacher and once an amateur dancer. She came into my clinic one afternoon, her eyes heavy with sadness. "Doctor," she said softly, "lately my legs feel so weak. Even a few minutes of dancing leaves me completely drained. I've had to give up the dance class I loved for 20 years. After running some tests, we discovered Helen was deficient in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant your body needs to protect muscle cells from damage caused by free radicals. I guided her to add more vitamin E-rich foods to her meals and started her on a small daily supplement. 6 weeks later, Helen walked back into my clinic with a sparkle in her eyes. "Doctor," she smiled, "yesterday I danced again. Just 30 minutes, but it felt like I'd regained a part of my life I thought was gone." Have you ever given up something you loved because your legs felt too tired? Would you like to feel that sense of freedom again? Your muscles work hard every single day, producing energy. But here's the catch. That process also creates free radicals, tiny molecules that damage your cells. Over time, without a shield to protect them, these free radicals attack your muscle cell membranes, leaving them weaker and less elastic. This is where vitamin E steps in. It acts as a protective shield around your muscle cells, blocking free radicals from attacking. It supports healthy blood flow, delivering oxygen and nutrients more efficiently to your muscles. And most importantly, it helps your muscles recover faster after any activity, whether it's climbing stairs or simply walking through your garden. A study from Tokyo University found seniors who supplemented with vitamin E regularly had 35% fewer nighttime leg cramps and less muscle fatigue after light activity. You can get vitamin E from almonds, sunflower seeds, olive oil, avocado, and dark leafy greens. But to reach the recommended 15 milliliters a day for adults, you'd need to eat a lot of these foods daily. For many people, especially those limiting healthy fats, a small vitamin E capsule of 200-400 IU can be a practical choice. When to take it after a meal with healthy fats, like olive oil, salmon, or avocado. Now let me ask you, do you often get leg cramps at night? Do your muscles seem to recover more slowly after a walk or a bit of gardening? Do you feel a lingering fatigue in your legs without a clear reason? If so, listen closely. Your body might be calling out for its protective shield. I once told Helen, and now I'm telling you, your legs have carried you across tens of thousands of miles in this life. They deserve to be protected from those silent storms. Take care of them the way you'd care for a beautiful garden. Nourish them with vitamin E with a little love, so that every step you take feels full of life and vitality. You deserve to dance again. You deserve to feel your legs light and strong as you step into the park, and your legs deserve to be protected. You can start today with a few seeds, a little care, and a lot of self-love. Do you know what makes it possible for someone over 60 to break a bone from just a small slip? Or why some people still develop osteoporosis even though they drink milk and take calcium and vitamin D3 regularly? I ask because the answer might lie in a vitamin that doesn't get much attention, vitamin K2. I remember Marjorie, 74, a lively woman who loves cycling around her neighborhood. But that day, she came into my clinic on crutches, her eyes full of sadness. "Doctor," she said softly, "I only tripped slightly, but my thigh bone broke. I drink milk every day. I take D3 regularly. Why are my bones still so fragile?" We ran some tests and discovered Marjorie was low in vitamin K2, a vital nutrient that helps direct calcium into the bones where it belongs, instead of letting it drift aimlessly into the bloodstream. After a few months of K2 supplements and a diet rich in supportive nutrients, she returned, walking more steadily. She held my hand and said with a joyful smile, "Doctor, I'm cycling again. Not far yet, but it feels like freedom." Have you ever worried about falling? Wondered if your bones are still strong enough to handle even a minor bump? Think of calcium as bricks. Vitamin D3 helps you carry those bricks into your house. But without K2, those bricks might pile up in the wrong place, sticking to your artery walls, raising the risk of atherosclerosis, instead of being built into the foundation of your bones. Vitamin K2 acts like a brilliant architect. It directs calcium into your bones, making them stronger and more flexible. It prevents calcium from accumulating in your arteries, protecting your heart and blood vessels. A 10-year study from the Netherlands involving over 4,800 people found those with diets rich in K2 reduced their risk of dying from heart disease by up to 50% and had significantly stronger bones. Vitamin K2 is abundant in fermented foods like natto, fermented soybeans from Japan, an excellent source of K2. Aged cheeses like Gouda and Brie, egg yolks, organ meats like liver. But let's be honest, not everyone loves or can manage eating natto every day. That's why I often tell my patients, consider taking 90 to 120 mcg of vitamin K2 daily, especially if you're already using vitamin D3 or calcium supplements. When to take it? With your breakfast, especially one with healthy fats. This allows K2 and D3 to work together as true partners. Now ask yourself, do you often feel pain in your knees or hips when climbing stairs? Have you ever had an X-ray where your doctor said your bones are thinning? Are you already taking D3 or calcium but haven't added K2? If so, maybe it's time to talk to your doctor about this silent partner for your bones. I once told Marjorie, and now I'm telling you, your bones aren't just the frame holding your body up. They're the foundation that lets you keep walking out into your garden, lifting your grandkids, or cycling on a summer afternoon. Take care of them. Sometimes all it takes is a small nutrient called K2. You can start today, a little cheese, an egg, or a small K2 capsule. One small change, one big step toward protecting your bones. Let vitamin K2 help you keep your foundation strong so every step feels steady and confident. Have you ever had this moment? It's late at night, you wake up suddenly to a sharp, stabbing cramp in your calf. You curl your leg, massaging it instinctively, thinking, maybe I overdid it today. But the next morning as you stand up, your legs still feel heavy, like they've been through a battle overnight. If that sounds familiar, let me introduce you to a tiny yet incredibly powerful nutrient, magnesium. I like to call it the hidden hero behind more than 300 processes in your body. I remember Frank vividly, 66 years old, a retired Marine. He came into my clinic that morning with a furrowed brow, frustration in his voice. "Doc," he said, "I can't take these muscle cramps at night anymore. And during the day, my legs feel like they're chained down. Just walking a few steps leaves me exhausted, and standing too long makes them tremble." We ran some tests and found Frank was severely low in magnesium, a condition that's surprisingly common in older adults, especially those on diuretics or living with diabetes. We started him on a daily magnesium supplement, 400 milligrams per day, along with a diet rich in dark leafy greens and seeds. 6 weeks later, Frank walked back into my office with a steadier stride and a wide grin. "Doc," he said, "I went to the park and played ball with my grandson. No more cramps, no more trembling. It feels like these legs, they're mine again." Think of magnesium as a silent conductor orchestrating your body's symphony. It coordinates over 300 enzymatic processes to help your muscles contract and relax smoothly. It ensures your nerves send signals from your brain to your legs without a hitch. It regulates your heartbeat, your blood pressure, and prevents that lingering feeling of fatigue. But when magnesium is lacking, your muscles stiffen, nerve signals slow down, and your legs start to feel heavy, almost as if they're carrying the weight of the world. A study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society revealed 60% of people over 60 have magnesium levels below the recommended range. With magnesium supplementation, they experience significantly fewer nighttime cramps and improved endurance while walking. You can get magnesium from dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, nuts and seeds, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and yes, even a little dark chocolate. A small joy that's good for your muscles too. But the reality? Many people don't hit the daily target of 300, 400 milliliters of magnesium from food alone, especially if their diet is low in vegetables or their absorption isn't optimal. Recommended dose, 300, 400 milliliters a day. Best time to take it. In the evening, it helps relax your muscles and promotes a better night's sleep. Now ask yourself, do you get muscle cramps at night? Do your legs feel fatigued even after light activity? Do you notice tingling or a slight trembling when you stand for too long? If the answer is yes, your body might be whispering its need for magnesium. Sometimes the smallest nutrients make the biggest difference. I often tell my patients, magnesium isn't flashy, it doesn't make headlines, but it's like a quiet friend standing in the background, helping your legs feel lighter, your heartbeat stay steady, and even your mind feel a little calmer. Give your body that gift because you deserve to walk with confidence and peace. You don't have to wait until your legs are crying out in pain or fatigue to start caring for them. Begin today, a dinner with leafy greens, a handful of pumpkin seeds, or a small magnesium capsule before bed. Let magnesium quietly do its job so you can freely do yours, walking, enjoying, and loving life. Do you see now? B1, the fuel for your muscles. D3, the switch that powers your strength. To B12, the lifeline connecting brain and legs. E, the shield protecting your muscles. K2, the architect of your bones. Magnesium, the conductor orchestrating harmony. Remember this, your legs aren't just for moving you from place to place. They carry you to the people you love, the places you cherish, and the memories you hold dear. You deserve strong, steady legs, whether you're 60, 70, or beyond. And sometimes that strength begins with the smallest of things, a few tiny vitamins. Take care of your legs, because when your legs are strong, your heart is free.